show you my toys.
Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to look at the Neca 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figure set. These are some absolutely amazing figures. These were first offered in 2018 San Diego Comic-Con as a bundle set. They also offered them with the street diorama in the background. Shortly after, they were available at GameStop as singles. Now, I'm quite late to the party. GameStop just re-released them, got some more in, and put them on their website. I grabbed the bundle. When I purchased the diorama last year from San Diego Comic-Con, I got it with the intention to enhance my action figure city, most of my Batman world. And I thought to myself, I really don't need these turtles for my Batman world. Even though turtles were amazing, I ended up selling my sets, and I've come to regret it quite a bit. Two main reasons I regret it. Number one, the Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie that came out recently really made me feel like the Turtles do have a place in my Batman action figure world. And then number two, I got the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con Turtle set, which was Shredder, a couple Foot Soldiers, and Splinter, and they were absolutely amazing. Regretted getting rid of these guys so bad, and then guess what? GameStop put them on their website just a few short days later. So, here we are. So with no further ado, let's open them up. But before we do that, let's take a quick peek at the packaging. Leonardo here. The guys have the same packaging, so we don't need to look at all of them. We have Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo. Each come with pizza and their appropriate weapons. You can see the movie logo here. Also says Nickelodeon. The top, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Side, the guy wielding his weapons. Other side, movie logo and a couple poses of the figure. And on the back, we've got all four of the figures at the bottom, as well as a few shots of Leo up top. Let's not forget the bottom. There is a barcode, as well as a bunch of credits. So, let's open them up. Alright, well now we got these guys out of the package. Here they are with all their accessories laid out. And I must say these guys look every bit as amazing as I expected. Each one has a unique head sculpt, giving them all a different personality. It looks like each one of them has the same body, but we'll take a little bit more detail at that shortly. Each one comes with a total of 4 different hands, 2 alternate hands. Each one comes with a pizza slice. Each one comes with an alternate back part of their bandana. And each one comes with the appropriate weapons. We've got the swords for Leonardo, the staff for Donatello, the sais for Raph, and the nunchucks for Michelangelo. But before we dig into the accessories, let's take a look at the actual figures. So as you can see here, Leonardo, look at his face, eyes sort of slinted, looking pretty stern and serious, the leader of the group. You can see he's got spots on his body, on his head. The detailing looks great. Look at those sword sheaths, the shell. The detail on this guy is amazing so far, so reminiscent of the film. Just everything about them. The film itself holds up pretty well to nowadays, if you ask me. Then you can see Donnie here. Once again, his face considerably different. Each one of these guys looks just really, really, really nice. His shell also looks pretty unique. Here's Raph, looking kind of mean in his face. Liking it, a lot of those teeth. He's one of the favorite Ninja Turtles, probably my favorite one from the films. He just has the most personality, gets the most trouble, gets angry, kind of loner. And of course we got Michelangelo, little Joker, look at him, wide eyes, smiling. Just they capture the personality for these guys from the film. Such a great job. And then here the figure's broken down as far as they can go with all their removable parts detached. One thing I want to note out is it looks like in this particular GameStop version we didn't get the canister of ooze that I believe came with the San Diego Comic-Con version. Now let's check out their accessories, each turtle one at a time. We don't have to go over everything for every guy because there are some repeats. So let's go ahead and start off with his hands. Of course, Leonardo here, as well as all the turtles, has 2 gripping weapon holding hands, and that will be my default hands for all of them. But there's also alternative hands which could be cool for some various uses. Here's Leonardo with his two open hands. These can be if he's relaxed at his side, maybe if he's touching something, or perhaps shaking someone's hand, maybe even giving a high three. And then here he is with his gripping hands. These, of course, are going to be my default hands because I want to be able to hold his weapons at any time, and they can sort of double up as fists. Next, let's look at the back of his headband. We've got one set here that'll hang behind him, looking kind of like so. A little bit more separated, a little bit longer. We've got this one here that'll look about like that behind him, kind of bunched up. And then here he is wearing set A. And then here he is wearing set B. Drapes a little bit more to the front. I think I'm going to stick with set A on all these guys for the most part. Next, let's check out his pizza slice. Made out of hard plastic here. A lot of different toppings on it. Looks like it may be a Supreme, but of course, how can you have the Turtles without their pizza? And here are the 4 turtle slices put together. They make about a half a pizza. And then here is their pizza slices in the center. Compared to all the different pizza accessories I have in my action figure world, the Turtles are going to be fed good tonight. And then here's Leonardo actually holding his pizza, getting ready to shove that slice in his mouth. Pretty nice little enhancement for the figure. Now let's look at his swords. The accessory I like the most about him, of course, just like the film, brown handle, sort of blocky middle part between the blade and the handle. Then of course, nice sharp edge, and able to be holstered into his back. So here he is with his swords holstered into their sheaths on the back. Very reminiscent of how I remember it looking in the film. Really, really nice. And then here's Leonardo, ready for war. And overall, looking like a boss with these 2 swords. Now let's look at Donatello's accessories. I think we can skip over the headband pieces and pizza slice as there's no difference between them and the rest of the Turtles. So he has a bow staff, as well as 2 gripping hands for his bow staff, and then he has 2 hands here that are both pointing, a little bit different than Leonardo's open hands. And then here he is with his 2 pointing hands pointing over to his right. And before I put his gripping hands on, I went ahead and took Leonardo's open hands and put them onto Donatello. As you can see here, they work perfect. Skin tone is no problem, so all the different hands are interchangeable between the different characters. And then of course, here are his gripping hands, able to hold a weapon. Next, let's show you his bow staff. Kind of plain. It's wooden, but does have a nice grip area in the center here. Now his shell here, he can holster his bow staff in the back. He's got 2 different cloth loops back here. And I must say, one of them came untied, so I spent a really long time retying it, and by the time I did that, the first one came untied, so it was infuriating. I finally got them both done, and then guess what? Shortly after they came undone again. So I tied them around the bow staff, tightened them, and I put a dab of glue in them so they're not going to come undone again. And then here he is with his bow staff holstered onto his shell. As you can see, it looks pretty good for both the front and the back. And then here he is holding his bow staff, which he's able to do with either one hand or 2 hands, like so. Next, let's check out Raphael's gear, and we can definitely skip over the bandana and pizza slices. And then here he is with his first pair of hands, these sort of larger gripping hands. He can pick up a larger item. And then here he is with his gripping hands, able to hold his weapons. And let's get to his actual weapons. 2 different sizes here. As you can see, it does have a little bit of sculpted grip on the base and a little bit of texture on this part as well. And then here he is with his 2 sides holstered onto his belt. And then here he is wielding both of his sides, ready for action. And then here are Michelangelo's weapons. Once again, we'll skip over the pizza slice and bandana pieces. He does have two alternate hands with the thumbs up. And then here he is with both of his thumbs up hands. Very appropriate accessory for Michelangelo in particular. And then here he is with his gripping hands, getting ready to hold his nunchucks. And then here are his actual nunchucks. As you can see, there's a little bit of texture in the handle part here. The connector is sort of a soft material. I am concerned. It feels like maybe if I mess with this too much, it might eventually end up breaking. Kind of wish there was a chain or something, a little bit maybe a better execution up here. And here he is with both sets of nunchucks holstered onto his belt. I love the fact that each one of these turtles can holster weapons in a different fashion. Each one of these turtles' alternate hands are interchangeable between the guys. You can have any of the turtles giving a thumbs up or high-fiving, etc., etc. And then here he is wielding his nunchucks. They look pretty decent. I do wish they moved a little bit differently, and maybe he came with one alternate one that was sort of spinning. And if you really wanted to, he could definitely use two hands holding the one nunchuck. Next, let's show the height of these figures. So these figures here are pretty much all the same height, so I'm not going to do each individual figure. If you were to take the figure from bottom to top, they're sitting at just about 6.5 inches, maybe 6.4 inches or so. Next, let's show the articulation. Once again, it's going to be the same between all the figures. So let's take Raphael here. His head, of course, it can go from side to side. It can look up a pretty decent amount and down a pretty decent amount as well. Of course, his headband, it can sort of go upward and around. Shoulders on a ball joint, they can go up full 90 degrees, up, down, around, etc. No bicep cut below that. He does have single jointed elbows. In fact, I believe they're actually double jointed. They're a little bit hindered from this elbow pad here, and they really don't go in. Consider they're double jointed, they can't even hit full 90 degrees. That's a little bit disappointing. There's a swivel both in the bottom and the top of the arm. His wrist, of course, are going to swivel around, and it's hinged as well. Don't believe there's any sort of waist or ab articulation inside of here. No waist swivel, no ab crunch. It's all hidden by the shell anyway. His legs, they go out a decent amount. I really don't want to push it too hard. Ball joint inside of here. They go forward, really not that much. A shell obstructs it. And back, really not much at all either. Double jointed knees, they can go a pretty far amount back. And there is a swivel at the top there. His feet, of course, they can go down, up, and they can rock and rotate a little bit. Now that we've taken a pretty detailed look at their accessories, next let's check them out compared to some other action figures, starting with some other turtle figures, and then we'll check them out compared to some other various action figure lines in case you're wanting to mix them with some other figures, just to see how they fit in both scale and style-wise. Here they are next to the second 4-pack of turtle figures from this film. This is the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con Capture of Splinter 4-pack. Came with Shredder, Splinter, and 2 foot soldiers. Absolutely stellar, phenomenal figures. All 8 of these are top-notch quality and sculpt. Really hoping to get about 4 more foot soldiers if and when GameStop releases these as singles, which I'm really hoping they're going to do. Would love to get a Casey Jones and April from this line as well. We've seen a Raph in quarter scale in a trench coat. Wouldn't mind seeing that shrunk down. There are still plenty more figures to get us another 4-pack. Later in the video, we will have some cool photos of these figures fighting each other in different atmospheres, as well as Splinter and the Turtles in various turtle sewers. And then here they are next to a DC Collectibles Mikey as Batman from Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In this film, Mikey put on the Batman costume briefly in the Batcave. Notice how much shorter he is than these guys. So I'm thinking this line overall is going to be scaled considerably smaller than the typical 7-inch NECA scale. Next, I'd like to show out these figures compared to some various Ninja Turtle playsets, mainly sewer ones. I amassed several of these over the years because I love action figure dioramas for my action figure world. And of course the Turtles, they have to have a place to stay, so which sewer is best for them? As you can see here, this is the old animated one. I had this one as a kid, and I got one on eBay as an adult, I don't know, 10 years ago. I've had this one for a long time. Not 100% complete, but mostly. As you can see, the turtles actually do fit into the main area, which is pretty cool. And as you can see, they can actually fit inside, at least the one large living room sort of area. And so here is this turtle sewer as it's incorporated into my action figure world. Here they are next to this tower. This is from an animated Ninja Turtle film. This actually scales up very well with 7-inch figures. Always kind of like this thing. It's small, basic, but it works. And then here's how they would scale up inside of this tower. You can see Splinter on the bottom. Then we've got Raph in the middle. See Mikey on the elevator in the back. Fits in there just fine. Donnie and Leo on top. I've always found this tower to be sort of a nice little basic background piece in my action figure city, predominantly from a Batman point of view. And here's this thing when it's not in use in my city. The next sewer place I'd like to look at, and this is probably my favorite one, this one here, and honestly I'm not even sure what turtle line it's from. I found this guy on eBay a long time ago and was pretty pleased. This sort of has a castle look to it. It's kind of like under the sewer, outside, a bunch of brick, etc., etc. Of course, this thing can fold out to look like this. And then many years ago, I got this thing on eBay, I don't know, 40-ish bucks. I thought it was a hell of a steal. This thing is huge, accommodates 7-inch figures, no problem. And to my surprise, when I clicked view other items on the eBay seller, he had a second one. I was able to get 2 of these for about $85 or so shipped. It was amazing. Neither one is complete, but they're both really close. They have all the essentials you'd need. And then here are the turtles as compared to these playsets from the outside, size-wise. And then here are the turtles on the inside of the playset. Opens up, it's huge, large, nice, and can work for several different things in your action figure world. Now this table is just not big enough to have both of them assembled out like this, but it can make for a huge sort of sewer or warehouse type diorama. And then here they are hanging out in the sewer. You can see we got Leonardo at the top, Raphael at the side, Donatello eating some pizza, and Michelangelo watching some TV. Definitely the best playset for these guys. And unfortunately, due to space constraints, these two guys have been up here on the top bookshelf for quite some time, unable to be on display in my city. Next, I would like to look at these 3 super large Ninja Turtle playsets, sewer and above the sewer, from the most recently ended cartoon. I'm not going to take these ones out because God, it'd just be such a pain in the ass. But as you can see, here they are. And then here they are in this playset. You can see Donatello at the computer, Leonardo listening to Master Splinter, Michelangelo just running around, and Raphael above ground. And if you're trying to find out a turtle van that will work for these guys, you got to get this Cowabunga Party van. This is from many years ago, but it's perfect for 7-inch scale. I got a couple of these with the intent to repaint them for regular vans, but pretty much any action figure in the 6 and 7-inch scale fits in these. And as you can see, they can fit in the van just fine. They can actually even utilize the seats that are already in there. And then you can see 2 of them fit in the driver's seat really with complete ease. Yeah, they're a little bit maybe higher up than I'd like, but it's a great van for these Neca Turtles. And then here are these guys taking on a Shredder and the Foot, defending the city. Really want to get some more foot soldiers. These guys are just phenomenal, if I may say so. And then the final showdown with Shredder. As you can see, here's Splinter with Shredder about to fall off the roof, pulling his knife out from behind his back. And so next on the agenda, let's compare them with some other action figure lines, in case you want to mix them, see how they fit in. Here they are next to some of their Neca brothers from various Neca action figure lines. I think they fit in pretty good scale-wise. Maybe they're just a hair taller than they should be, but I think they are great. And then, my God, Neca. What a great company. They make action figures from everything I was into as a kid. RoboCop, Turtles, Terminator, 1999 Batman, Alien, Predator, and not to mention their horror stuff. Jeez, Neca, keep getting home runs. Keep just hitting all the right nostalgia points. I mean, these Turtles with that 1999 Batman alone is enough to make you just want to cry. Here they are next to some DST Diamond Select Toys figures. Here they are compared with some McFarlane Toys action figures. Here they are with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And then here they are next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And then next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth softgood figures. Then here next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And next to some Mafex figures. And now next to some SH Figure Arts figures. And here they are next to some Jazzwares figures. So overall, these are some amazing figures. This was a movie I loved as a kid, and you know what? It still holds up today. The second one doesn't hold up quite as much. Third one, I won't even bother checking out again. This first one, just watched it a couple days ago and I got these figures. Still great. If I were to rate these figures, I'd give them a good 8.5 out of 10. They are fantastic. They look great. Happy to incorporate them into my action figure world. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.